All right. Aloha, Ohana, Aloha World. Jonah Martin Lyon checking in with this live stream day. Woo-wee. We got September 26th on a Tuesday, 2 Tuesday. I'm coming at you live here from Maui, Essex sitting in the Mystic Garden Temple. Just an update as I've arrived in these last week, the last 6 days, been bouncing around. It's been a rocky landing, landing unto, of course, to be expected with what everything that's been going on and where we're at in our community right now. And it's been beautiful to come back in and just reconnect with our Ohana here, just with family, friends, just really like getting updated, getting current into where they're at, interpersonally, and where their, um, kind of intentions are and where people are feeling their purpose around these times. So that's been very helpful to kind of come in my own alignment around these times. Like thinking about where I was on the eighth, let alone like being here on Maui, being full force into the aloha response, the emergency response, the collaboration, and how so many organizations, Hope for Maui, HHH, Maui Rapid Response, Lahaina Strong, Maui Strong, all beautiful organizations, and so many more government organizations coming in to support and learning how to work with these government organizations, as well. Has been a big part of our learning curve. Has been part of our conversation and how um, uh, efficient and inefficient systems can be. So just seeing that and experiencing it and getting back into the systems that are working, working with those people, grassroots, people oriented systems. And that's one of the things I wanted to update everyone on today. And today's drop in news is that Buzz's Wharf is definitely a activated zone, an H.O.P.E zone for us here on Maui. We're going to be re uh, opening soon in a small scale of depot supply chain, continuing to be a hub for our community to synergize the energy, and really seeing that as also a prime opportunity because it's so centrally and strategically located that we can bring a lot of our community both locally and globally together around the table, break bread, eat, talk story about what our next steps are. This way we can bring our kapuna, our keiki, our youth, and everything, everyone in between to have a multi-generational, diverse cultural experience that's integrated with what's been here, what's here now, and what's we want to see for our future. So, super important to be in this space right now while also being very considerate and compassionate. It's very heavy here, as you can imagine. That's why I like the Rocky start, being an empath, being somebody who's very heart centered and deeply rooted. Is like, okay, I'm grounded in this and grateful for my life's experience to be able to stay calm, stay peaceful, and to be that energy for our community, while also being very transparent, authentic, and like, man, to be out there as a parent, as a father, and not knowing where I'm landing, not knowing where I'm living, not having, that sense of home, that house, that shelter. And so really feeling that, it's a different feeling as a father, going flying around, in my freedom, Burning Man, in that way, very intentionally like directed, where am I going, and it was an accomplished mission, and now it's like landing here and being able to activate that mission, and that energy feels really good. I feel very integrated now as I'm sitting here in the Mystic Garden Temple and sitting here with all of you here on this Hope for Maui live stream, and like feeling like I can be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, feels really good too, right? Is that solid uh, rock. And so Buzz's Wharf will be reactivated on small scale, 4 hours, maybe around 3 days a week, looking at, and we're going to just scale it organically, let it grow. There's still a lot of work and regenerative kind of aspects in that space, restoration of that old restaurant because it hasn't been cared for a while. It's just empty. So we have some work to do on that, but it is totally viable, valuable, priceless for this time period now as we're still in the response and still in getting the resources and supplies to the west side that's needed, where that if you look at it from a body of Maui, that piece of the body is going to be healing for a long time. And so we need to be that, kind of think about that white blood cell, red blood cell, like that current in the stream of our blood, our family, our humanity to continue to feed and heal that piece. And this is something to look at also when we look at it always in the planetary scale from a galactic mystical being that she is, how we are the cells, how we are the organic nature that gets to help to heal those areas. And essentially that's who she sends to these different areas. She being Gaia, being Pachamama, Mother Nature, our galactic universal mother who we call home, honoring our Mother Earth. That's who we listen, direct, where are we directed to? And wow, to sit here where I'm at right now as being really guided, and surrendering, just so grateful. So mahalo, kekua, hallelujah, gracias, Pachamama. So Buzz's Wharf, Mystical Garden Temple, Jedi Alliance, new moons, or rather full moon, super moon, harvest moon coming up. It's the first full moon really in this equinox period. So beyond what kind of thinking about how our moons and how cultures relate to the moons, the 13 moons, and the Aztec Egyptians, are original peoples of the Eagle, Condor, Quetzal, the Mu, Lemuria, Atlantean, got too far. I guess I say that because the steward of this place, Tanmayo, who's was born and raised in France, and she's one of our community pillars. Has always been an open space for a lot of our community to have a sense of home, shelter, and a sense of community. And can see around this temple space, there's a lot of deities. This is what I'm looking at as we're sitting here. That's who I'm talking to right now. Right? I'm talking to all you, the golden Buddhas out there. This golden age of enlightenment. But this gives you a sense of kind of the space, really, really gorgeous. The numerology within the space ties in as well. It's got basically 12 facets, angles, and there's all the sacred geometry. Tanmayo's partner Adrian, he builds and weaves these pieces here of art. Brings these to a lot of our community gatherings. We'll build them literally on site, just putting it together. That's how this brother's mind works, right? So we have in this Mystic Garden Temple, we have in terms of the healing arts, some of the many healing arts. You can see massage tables in here. Literally that one, we have the rack above it, so you can do Thai massage walking on, and we have some drums, a lot of different musical instruments. We have some dumbbells. We have just open space, swings, um, yoga mats. It's a dojo. Yeah. So basically, you put a Jedi Master into a dojo. You can imagine what things we can make happen here, what we can co-create here. So I'm extremely excited to land here to have the openness of community, the openness to co-create um, the things that comes through all of us as channels of beings of light to bring our gifts, our offerings to one another. And so this is one of the things that I'm hoping for and hope for Maui is literally like now we have an incubation space and an integration point to bring all the physical, occupational, emotional, mental, and spiritual teachers, these Jedi masters out there, where they can come, they can stay, they can bring their teachings, and we can bring community who are in resonance with those specific teachings here to learn. And then we kind of like learn, say, workshop, mental mastermind piece, right? And we're churning on both hemispheres, feminine, masculine, planning, and then bringing it into form. And this is essentially how it works, how we work, and that form can be implemented and deployed out here in this beautiful environment that we live on Maui. So let me share a little bit. You got the internal because that's what we started off with today, but let's go into this external right now. Right. So this is the wraparound porch in the Mystic Garden Temple here. It drops down into a luscious gulch that is just dripping with avocados and guavas and breadfruit and fruit. I don't even know what it is. There's tons of citrus fruit. Uh, there's kukui nut. There's mango. Um, yeah, bananas galore. But just, I mean, abundance. Yeah, so much abundance. So I'm just kind of cruising around. Wanted to share this space here because this is basically a little, um, little hale here, a little hana. Also, like a dome space. Really, really gorgeous little hale there right next to it. So um, that's obviously kind of guest quarters. Yeah, so we can bring our guests in. We hold retreats, healing retreats. We're going to be hosting more and more of ways of healing because that's where we're at deeply in our community here, is in it, and both here and everywhere. This is a time of healing and regenerating. So rest, is really important now. I've been taking an opportunity to rest in the rain that we've been getting here in this area, especially. It doesn't get this green for no reason, and but it also is a really balanced ecosystem here, and so also grateful for that. So this is the garden. Up above the house, I'm staying in a 3-bedroom that I found. It's part of this community here. Yeah, and I found it was actually presented to me. Literally like here's your gift. Thank you. All right, thank you, Maui. Thank you, Tanmayo. Thank you for all of our community that's been looking out for me, also, and just trusting that uh, the them seeing in the work that I'm doing in community, and it's really an honor, and yeah, um, they say a privilege. Yeah, some work to do around that word and privilege, around how we relate to it. Uh, it's something to recognize, when it's present and how I'm relating to it. Am I relating to it positively, negatively? uh, and the interaction is that positive or negative as we are relating to privilege. It's a privilege, to think about. It's a privilege to live here on Maui. It's one of the most gorgeous places on planet Earth, and luscious, abundant Lakshmi energy all around. Prosperity, and as we remember, recognize, steward, and regenerate that healing in its abundance. It's overfloweth, and we can heal nations. This last weekend was very much of that. Sure, and sharing after the live stream that we did at the rally around peace at the Imua Discovery Gardens. I left from that experience there and drove just a little ways down the street into the Maui University campus for a gathering of First Nations tribal chiefs and uh, some of our high chiefs and elite here on Maui and beyond, and even all the way from New Zealand. And this has been something else that I'm seeing in these gatherings of humanity, more and more frequent. And what a great place to steward something like that here on Maui, uh, between Buzz's work, between Mystic Gardens, between the spirit of aloha, between uh, you know Halebi'i Lani Heao, Heiau, and like Honolulu Heiau, and like that could be a pinnacle piece of things as we like restore some of these sacred sites and bring gatherings and ceremony around them. It's going to continue to uplift because through prayer and through action, and this is the way. This is a way for us to find our way home, or rather to walk each other home. Uh, I was speaking with Brother Josh, right away, Brother Andrew, who I met at Gathering for Humanity. Uh, they he called at a very interesting time. This is Maori uh, brethren and essentially king, yeah, descendant of royal blood of those tribes, and how they're activating in that part of the world, and how they're going to be coming out here to Maui and to Hawaii in December. About like these up and coming months, how many people are going to be coming to Maui for all the different reasons, and then in those, how to come together. And so that's something I'm pondering and have been in my morning meditation here in Mystic Gardens, is seeing this space is really instrumental to that process of peace building in all relations, and how these different locations, sacred sites, can become part of our grid, peace on earth zones throughout our community here on Maui and our community worldwide. Yeah, how can each and every one of us be a peace on earth zone? How can we set that up within ourselves first, and then how does that look in our families and in our communities that we live in, our neighborhoods, and how does that look like as it just continues to spiral outward? And so coming back to that center, yeah, North Node. Um, yeah, there's some other things that want to come up around weaving in Hope for Maui, uh, the Housing Our People Everywhere initiative, sustainable building. I spoke with yesterday one of our lead project managers who's piloting our hemp initiative in relations to housing specifically, and that was paused, of course, so because of the fires and because of funding finances. But we're about to get that underway again, and getting to participate in that. I'm grateful for the great pause there because I thought it might even be finished. So that's something else I'm going to bring in and share, as we look at weaving all of these different sustainable architecture, architectural pieces. Yeah, so he's already in collaboration. Joe Smith. I want to know Joe's business name, but he did share that yesterday. It was great too. I'm gonna ask for that again. Uh, so this is Maui, right? Because it's like we know each other so personally. That it's like, what's the name of your business, right? So that's an area you get to go into, right? Is bringing our businesses together. Business and economics is going to be a big part of what we're doing here in this Mystic Garden studio dojo space. I'd like to bring our ohana together in an organic way of just the space being open on at particular times, kind of a meeting zone with a particular theme and interest in here, and that's exciting to have a community gathering space where I live. Uh, Always been a dream of mine, and so again, just like giving thanks to Jah, yeah, give thanks to God, like Akua, the Most High, is literally surrendering to that spiritual relationship, you know, and so this would be a gathering zone, a po zone, um, hosting retreats, workshops. Uh, we facilitating the academy online as well, so that we're able to acculturate and weave and connect and stay connected, so that we're continuing to perpetuate, cultivate, and activate this culture of peace, love, unity, sovereignty. Bananas, yeah. So continuing that acculturation process as a cultural director and looking at this from again small scale to large scale, right? There's like a cultural director, as I am for the camp Rainbow Warriors at Burning Man. You know, I am the same at Burning Man as I am here, and so this is what I do because of who I am. And like how we just are based upon our presence and how we breathe. So that aloha, yeah, like bringing aloha into all things. As an ambassador of that, this and to show up, this, like I was looking at this golden Buddha as I'm staring into it, speaking with all of you, all of us. Right? There's no us and them, use the universe. Yeah, it is essentially like that Jedi Master uh, piece, and it's where we at right now, to bring in this like silly reality star piece story that we're all part of. So what's your story? What character? Who are you in the story? And like, how can we connect? What kind of relationship can we have? What can we co-create together? Yeah, it's like beautiful questions to be in this space. And like with sister asked, which is like, what's the number one thing that I can devote my attention to? The relationship that I have with God, the communion with God. That's where it's at right there. And if God is all that is, and God is all that is, then my communion with literally everything is that. To commune with that type of or level of consciousness. What a practice. So as we hope for Maui and bring housing our people everywhere here on Maui, uh, some of the things. Maui Spirit Tours was the business that I was working on prior to these fires as an eco-cultural tour guide. And why I'm bringing that up is to see how we can bring that industry of tourism, how we can bring forth and activate and expand and amplify this culture of peace into our world and through our volunteerism and our contributions. I don't like isms too much. I like to stay away from them. But being a volunteerist, yeah, like a chemist, IST is a lot less. It's the etymology and origin of our words and our speaking is super important. So as a eco-cultural tourist, how are we touring? How are we moving in the world? And are we moving in a way that is leaving it better than we found it? Or is it a way that is regenerative? Is it a way that is radically self-expressive? Is it a way that is present in this now moment, in this now space? Is it something that is participatory and, in ways that like we're able to show up fully in a way of self-reliance, where I'm an asset, not a liability, because I am present and I'm there to be of service. We all came here with gifts, so bringing our gifts is simply by showing up. We're practicing what we preach and teaching what we each have within our own wisdom. Looking at this, sorry, that brings up each one teach one right now in building. I saw these like kind of what you're seeing right here, these struts, beams, and buildings. Is that each one teach one bamboo. So Joe Smith, back to him, relationship with a organization that's been doing a lot of bamboo holidays out here. So how we can put the bamboo and the hempcrete together, that's going to be awesome, right? So these are things that we're looking into right now from the sustainable building aspect of this, while knowing that we need immediate response. Yeah, we need some, like right now, intermediate. Yeah, so like immediacy and intermediate have this relationship for me in words. So the intermediate housing initiative. So this is where Hope for Maui comes in. We need the sustainable factor of it. We need to be able to build smart, not smart cities, but intelligently, eco-friendly, leaving it better than we found it in mind, regenerative ways, fire retardant, mold resistant infrastructure that can be placed on all these different lands. We have acres and acres of land here on Maui that's already open, available. So we just need to, like, in my opinion, occupy the space. This is what it's about, right? Occupational health. It's part of our occupational health. We're not colonializing it, and we're not going to go through that process, if you will, because it's, again, slowing down. There's so much bureaucracy and yellow tape. I know about yellow tape, red tape, constant things going up, instead of just this relationship of, I trust you, right? You trust me? Yeah. Shaking on it, be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personal. Always do your best, right? 4 agreements. Can we come into a state of 4 agreements with one another? So this is what's happening here. Like, I'm in the Mystic Garden Temple right now because this is a trust and relationship of that. Speaking our truth and trusting one another, and what a wonderful way to cohabitate, to coexist. Boom, right? It's probably a big old chunk of kukui nut because it was hard. Right? I'm like, what's hard that hit the ceiling right now, right at that moment of thinking about the coexistence, cohabitation. Um, I like cohabitation. It's such a beautiful word, right? Like habitats for humanity. Habits. What are our habits? So this is another area like hope, habit. H. What's the O on that, right? habits, right? O, over, or habits. Maybe we'll come up with that later. You know, I like to get in these games. It's part of my existence, and ways of being a teacher and a learner. So getting back to that, each one teach one, the consent. You may not be actually in the space right now listening to what I'm talking about and going into a place of doing an acronym right now. So asking around that. Part of why I like dialogue, feedback, communication. I'm communicating with myself, and myself is like, no, I don't want to do that right now. So what I do want to do is get back into the gifting. That was a gift, the gift of self, telling me that, gift of self-reflection, and the civic responsibility to be here now. What are my civic responsibilities on Maui? One, my civic responsibility to my daughter, to being a good father. You know, this place here literally is like a 7-minute drive to drop her off at school. It's a big part of where am I calling in to live. Where, please, John, I want to live here because this is what I like to happen. It's in the Most High, you know. So grateful for that, for her being grounded into Haiku Elementary School. Love, trust, trusting that she's getting a great education. She grew so much in the 30 days that I was off island and out in the desert. And yeah, love that we have this space, 3 bedrooms. She can have her own room and grow into that. We have an extra space for an office, art, creative space to kind of her and I just cool out and cruise that way. We have a sense of sovereignty and a sense of unity happening all at the same time. And, this is a prayer, yeah, a way of being, living, and yeah, this is a blessing. So hope for Maui, yeah, a lot of hope instilled and brought back. You know, some of our other directives right now, as I'm speaking with our community of Maui, is holding strong. Holding strong, this Lahaina strong, Maui strong, Hawaii strong, like Hawaii ne strong, Aloha strong, strength in numbers. And now we need numbers, we need to come together rapidly and support our community to hold the line, to not sell the land, especially when finding out. See, what's happening is people are slowly being given permission and consent to go see the lots, to see the damage, to see their homes, right? The leftovers of where they live. And, you know, it's after seeing something like that, it's like people obviously just automatically like, there's nothing left. There's nothing to go back to from a physical. I mean, go back to the soil as we all do. Like literally, you're gonna go back to the earth on this one. You know, it all is gonna go back into the earth and into the water and into the air and into the fire, through the fire. So, sacred fire, holding a sacred fire, maybe is a time to bring us together. That's truth. entire soul right there. And we gather the tribes. Unified in peace. Love one another. My partner, my daughter's mom, also was able to find her place today. Also, so celebrations. Uh, Big up, congratulations. It's so important as well, you know, and that all of us are taken care of. All of us have food, have water, have shelter, have community, have love. How that heals, how we heal ourselves and love ourselves. So I say, like, love one another, you know, really comes first and foremost. How much are we loving ourselves? How much are we loving God? Aloha Kekua, loving devotion to God. So these fires, this transformation and change that we're going through at a planetary, galactic level, global level, neighborhood level, personal level. It's all levels, yeah. So don't take it personally. You know, that's why I say love one another. And so I like think about building from that level of architecture of like a love, a heart-centered community that's deeply rooted. Yeah, that's a tree. Peace treaties, trees, and tea. Like literally, sometimes it's just a matter of having tea. We're definitely going to be doing that here at the Mystic Garden Temple with peace treaties. Talk about peace over tea. Plant some trees. Yeah, for humanity. Shout out Yanji Westfall, Kauai, Global Family, all the humanities out there. Ceremony and the tree planting. This is part of our directive on the Lahaina side. Sitting here and looking at these triangles, we got some temples to build over there. So we have this structure out on Playa. Yeah, you all saw it. This pyramid structure, Playa Alchemist. So we get in contact with them, thinking about one of those over on the Lahaina side as our vertical greenhouse, so that we can bring all of the keiki trees that are being donated right now into that, because we need to establish uh, the soil ecology, the water infrastructure gets sorted. A lot needs to get sorted before we're able to actually really plant with uh, the future and life, continuing that life. Yeah, on right now. It's not necessarily the most habitable place for plants on the west side. So uh, plants also are very resilient, extremely resilient. And there are certain kinds of plants that are resilient that will do really well in establishing that first layer and some roots and some canopy, and then restoring the natural water flow of the streams over on the west side. So these are all pieces of our next stages, our next steps that I want to see us be in alignment with. This is what is Pono. Yeah, we think about that. Like, how am I in right relationship with God, with the land, and with the people? Am I in that space right now? That's Pono. Yeah, to look at that in everything. Yeah, to bring that Ho'opono, right? Like, how do we make it Pono? Um, Such a good like place to acculturate these indigenous, native, aboriginal, original traditions, uh, because all of it's here. Yeah, what I mean here by I mean Maui. uh, Fantastic. It's one of the most amazing things. One of the things I love most about living here is literally the world is right here, and you can drive around the island in 7 hours. So imagine coming and linking up with yours truly and taking a tour with the lion. A Maui spirit tour with the lions. I gotta say, it's a good time. We'll learn a lot from one another. We'll see a lot. We'll grow a lot, and this is a process of our sustainability. And I look at the planning and the rebuilding of Maui because it represents our world. The world represents Maui, and we're seeing that. We're communicating. We're connecting at deep levels. People showing up on tour right now with the Maui Strong shirts on already, and they just got here. Right? Amazing. Um, and they know what it means. It ain't just an aloha shirt. Just gotta keep it real. That's people got aloha shirts and that would never necessarily be here. Uh, we bring gifts home. We bring gifts around. We need to know what these things mean. And Maui Strong, yeah, uh, organization that's been holding it strong, still holding it strong for us as a community here in response to the fires. So let's strengthen right now, yeah, through this catalyst, through this transformational experience of fire that's unifying us right now. It's bringing us all around the fire, and I know what that means, and it's always a initiation to get to know what that means again. And so here we are, looking at this community fire gathering to look at what also wants to happen around the fire is Aloha Burn, doing a regional Burning Man experience here with the focus on regeneration and sustainability, the focus on peace and all relations, peace building, focusing on every piece of that, and having a mastermind break-in groups like tune-in groups, synergy, triads, just weaving with 1,999 people. That was the guidance I got from Prince. Party like it's 1999, 10 days from the solstice through the New Year's. Yeah. So this is a vision that's out there in this Blue Eagle kind of energy that we're in right now, and just kind of to warrior up, you know, and look at that as a nice 3 month like let's go ham right now, you know. So I'm currently going to be activating our local community leaders that have been producing festival kinds and linking them up with the other leaders out there in the world that would like to participate and come here for that timeline, seeing about uh, you know the councils and the circles and cycles and looking at 3 months right now. If we look at the immediacy aspect of it, we got people that just got done with Playa that are still on fire right now, and then they get to come over here to beautiful Maui and we can start building. Looking in at this directive and this vision and the co-creation of it, 1,999 people. Okay, where are we going to do that? Uh, well, everywhere. Yeah, it's Hope for Maui. So having multiple villages, eco villages, and those eco villages for the people that come here, right? So as I'm thinking 1,999 tickets that are go towards the building of the eco villages, and what the balance is between Kama'aina and those tickets and there are world coming in, and then maybe even like looking at how the tickets being free to Maui. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. If you have a live on Maui, it's free. Tickets are free. Yeah. Thank you, John. That's one of those moments right there because it's like we're gonna be able to hold way more people because we're already here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like we need tickets for it, right? So then imagine I was thinking that $500 easy for a ticket for those who are not from Maui, and if we did 1,999 tickets, that's $1,000,000 right there that goes towards our community here on Maui, and we as Maui can host and co-create an incredible experience. I'm pointing my direction right now. and talked to some folks about this, but the entire Central Valley is there's a lot of land out there. There's a specific part of this area that is just like it's just desolate. It's sitting there. I'm like, just lease it out, rent it out, gift it to us for this next 3 months, you know, and we'll house our people everywhere. You know, drop those units in. We got 2,000 units in Long Beach ready to go. Drop those in, bring the people together. We're already got the village created right there, you know, and the use of that, right? We need housing. It's automatic. We can use it for this gathering, this aloha burn, cultivate, bring in, build skill sets, bring teams together that can continue and take and scale these levels of what it takes to actually have the water and the power and the connectivity, the agriculture, aquaculture, the culture, just everything that's involved in a community to incubate that together, village sense, and then to let that spiral out throughout our island. And if we pick the location similar to this golden spike that we do out at Burning Man, it's like drop that golden spike in Maui at this location, let it spiral from there, and then literally the physical architecture of our pathways. Yeah, our pathways to peace, our pathways, but are like bike paths or walking paths. We'd be able to move and transport people around this island so much more efficiently than what we are currently doing here, and utilize more environmentally friendly, eco-friendly, like uh, horses and buggies and people and what do you guys say, people, because you like pedicab, one wheels, and we have all these really cool, fun things to transport ourselves. Hoverboards are coming around the corner any day, right? It's just like creating these pathways that are um, circular, centrifugal force. Yeah, it's just like that kind of spiral with connections and having those lines in between. Such a beautiful grid and great way to lay out the pathways of energy in a community. So I'm just seeing that, seeing a whole lot and wanting to step into these levels of action and connection with the stewards of these different parcels of land. Like getting some kind of map that shows Maui and like, okay, who's the current elite, the chief, the chief steward. I stay away from these words like landowners, right? So like that's why I'm bouncing around now, what you want to call it. Um, I'm just keep it real as to like what is truth in that is we need to move out of land ownership in our consciousness because we don't own the land as we just seen. You just kind of return back to it, and so the land actually owns us if we want to be in that. But just like home, it doesn't resonate here. Like do I even own myself? I mean, it's all God. Yeah. So thank you for opening up this space right now to look at the universal unity consciousness of how we can share and navigate and look at, hey, we have this open space in the Central Valley. It's easy to build on, a lot easier than building on in the middle of the playa. And it's a blank canvas with a beautiful backdrop of two gorgeous volcanoes that love one another, masculine and feminine, Haleakala and Hale Mahina, and like being right in this middle of those is the sons and daughters, the brothers and sisters, and the Yohana and family in this village, and these all people to just ground in right now, and to celebrate our diversity, our multicultural ways, traditions, and arts, and music, and dance, and uh, you know, be right. Humans being at the Aloha Burn, right? Make here's a homework assignment for those who are watching, want to tune into this burn acronym. Right? What's a burn? What's that mean for you? You know, uh, my iteration of that is believe you are now. Like so for me, it's just like believe I am now, right? Because the you is just simply like you. This comes back to the one. I can, and we are one. We're going to build heaven on earth, peace, and loving one another, and coming together in unity consciousness, and recognizing and remembering we are sovereign and free, the will to create, as co-create all that is. And that's what brings me hope. Humans on planet Earth, right? Looking at Earth from anywhere other than being here on Earth, it's Earth. It's one place. Like everything down there is part of the same thing. You know, um, so Earth utopians making Earth heaven, and experiencing that, sharing that, uh, working towards that. We've already been there, Zion. and now it's like a reverse engineering and stepping through it as the physical catches up with the light, the consciousness, Ja. So yeah, about 4 minutes left at this hour. I'm getting my practice in. I'm wanting to get an hour. 60 Minutes was a show I watched back in the day with my pops. Uh, I obviously really would like to have people other than myself going for 60 full minutes, and that's going to be the intention. But I had a lot to share today, and every now and again, since I'm looking at this station right now and I'm holding it, I'm just going to give that space and reflect back in this time frame, all that's gone down, um, that I'm grateful for. You know, landed in summary, landed at a home for myself and my daughter. I have a dojo and studio for my community, um, my internal or the close core council, uh, you know, uh, who I work directly with on relating and on a consistent basis, and then how that amplifies and is distributed, if you will, or the ripple effect of that work into our larger community. So um, there is, I think that was the last bit. Home wise, we're mapping out currently all the locations on Maui, uh, where so we'll have the locations mapped out with the number of housing units that we can place on that. So then we can start looking at our uh, workforce for that specific camp and housing directive, and then also we the houses are there, but we have other pieces to this, right? So this is where we get into community kitchen, community showers, right? Community like the commons, the area that we all can just share uh, are the other amenities, you know. So those are very needed. I want to give a shout out right now to some of these other camps like Agave Lounge and looking how domes can support that common space right now. And give a shout out to um, Dr. Bronner's, our foam friends out there to look at this community shower uh, and then to see how the other healing areas too in those commons, our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health, spiritual health, like how that's being cultivated uh, in these common areas as well. So again, this is a holistic um, hope for Maui. Uh, we're radically inclusive. It's going to require full communal effort, and um, let's regenerate this place together. Let's and for all of us, this is I was not born and raised here on Maui. I moved here almost 6 years ago at the end of this year, and it's would say it's home, and uh, so I want to leave this place better than I found it. And that's pretty radical thing to do, and have the kind of beauty that's here on Maui. There's a lot of discovery, and the story of the Beauty and the Beast, and so let's stay in peace, love, and bananas, and aloha.